thanks for tuning in to As Told by You. We've got a cool guest today. This is really fun because Britton responded to my Facebook post, but then also I realized I knew Britton from the industry kind of, and so it's very cool to have somebody who's sort of an insider in the similar industry that we're in. And so Britton, introduce yourself and tell the people what you do.
Yeah. So Britton Briley, owner and CEO, I guess, of Ghost Brands. We're a advertising, marketing, branding company, sort of an a la carte full service agency. I mean, it's fun. I mean, we're in 14 states, over 17 different industries, and have about 53 plus, give or take, clients. So it keeps us busy everywhere.
Nice. That's awesome. How'd you get into doing that?
Well, I've been in the marketing room for basically like 16, 17 years, but more climbing the corporate ladder. I was with GNC out of Pennsylvania. I was with UFC Gym out of Santa Ana, California. And then I just got sick of just not gonna lie, just doing that grind and like knowing that I'm not building anything for myself. I'm building it for someone else, which is great. You know, you're helping someone else achieve their dreams. And so when I got out of the corporate world, I was like, I love marketing. Didn't know what I want to do. I interview with a bunch of different other sort of like, you know, big like traditional like radio, TV, billboard companies. Like I like digital. I like what we do. I like all this stuff. And so I'm gonna start my own agency. My wife thought it was crazy, but that's how it sort of started.
They do think that sometimes.
Yeah. Third bed in the house.
Where's your home location? Where are you
Greenville,
based?
South Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming all the way down. Like,
I was gonna say,
that's awesome.
I thought y'all were in Greenville, and I was like, I didn't want to go. You know, we're in Columbia, right?
Yeah,
like
totally fine. I go to Athens twice a week. I go to North Carolina once a week. It's like an hour and 45-minute drive. I'm like, this is nothing.
He's advertising the whole time because he's got that Raptor wrapped in Ghost Brands. I
The
pulled
Ghost
up. I
Raptor.
was like,
Raptor.
Is Ghost Brands on our podcast today? I was like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really excited to see it. And I'll tell you what's funny is I have been, for some reason, Raptors have been catching my eye lately. I don't know why. All of a sudden, I'm just going, could I have a Raptor? Nah, I'm not a Raptor guy.
You could be.
Like, look at Britton. He's a Raptor guy.
No, I don't. It doesn't go off road whatsoever.
I'm a Volvo station wagon guy. I'm not a Raptor guy. Yeah. You know, that the Toyota Highlander fits me well.
Yeah.
So, but that's awesome. So tell me about the marketing world as far as like when you made that leap from being corporate to doing your own thing. You know, my wife and I, when I had that conversation with her, my conversation was 18 years ago. It was like, okay, you know, like,
yep.
I don't like this, but let's give it a shot. And so tell me what that transition was like, going from the corporate world to running your own shop.
One good thing is, like, I will say this: my wife is my biggest advocate, my best friend. She believes in the dream. That's the one thing. If I didn't have a spouse that understood the long days, the long weekends, the long nights, like just building something from scratch. I mean, I am very surprised and I'm very thankful that she's been with me for 6 years through this journey so far without me wanting to like say, hey, you don't see me very often. But that biggest transition was, I think, just understanding, honestly, going back to sort of, I think, the psychology of selling. I felt like, instead of like, you know, I have a paycheck, I don't have to worry about it in corporate world. Every 2 weeks I'm going to get
just take the assignment and do it.
Exactly.
Right?
I'm a task management versus I need to reverse engineer my finances, reverse engineer what I need to make to live on top of, okay, grow, satisfy clients, and then continue to thrive, and where we can pivot and move, because marketing is ever evolving and fluid.
Oh yeah, continually evolving.
Exactly.
Right? TikTok goes away for 6 hours and comes right back. You're like, okay, I guess we're back.
Yeah.
You know. And
no, I say marketing is a nightmare industry. Marketing, advertising, agency world is a nightmare industry. People are like, that sounds like you just hate your job. I said, no, I love my job. It's just it never stops. It never sleeps. It doesn't take holidays. There's no sort of weekends or off days. It is constantly going 24/7, 365.
Man, and there's no Kelley Blue Book.
No.
You know, so you don't know what it's supposed to cost.
Exactly.
You know, so and this is something I run into so often. And I was just on a mastermind call yesterday. One of the guys was asking what to charge on something, and he's already through the proposal process and hasn't talked budget with them at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And they said, yeah, I got a good budget for this. Is like, what does a good budget mean to them? You know, could mean $100. They like, we finally got $100 to spend on marketing, and they're excited about it. But you know, that's what makes what we do a lot of a challenge, is that, you know, you just never know what someone's frame of reference is, you know, what they're wanting to get out of things. So tell me what makes Ghost Brands work? What is it that you feel like is the key?
Well, so before I'll say this honestly, like when I was building the agency and we have a great staff of 12 people now, I can now sort of do this type of stuff. Hey guys, I'm going to go away for 6 hours on a Friday, cover everything. But the biggest thing was that I think the psychology of how clients think, move, shape, and adjust to like an agency coming in. Marketing is the last thing to come on board and the first thing to go off if you're struggling as a company. So you sort of really have to pivot and understand sort of how they think. So for us, it's like we changed from just packages to a la carte. Here's a buffet of services. Everything that I cover, everything that Dan covers, Austin cover, like all of our staff has all these capabilities. You pick and choose what you want and we will build a plan. Now, we'll put our consulting hat on and say, hey, you want social media? Where's the content? You're going to provide us content? Okay, cool. Like how's that content going to, so we sort of build this whole fluid system for them. That made us different where we can have someone like Spinks, who's the gas station that we represent, and we go into John's Island in Charleston and shooting for 4 hours there versus something else instead of like a hockey team or a baseball team. It just, for us, I think it was just it really was just the change of pace and the difference that we make on saying, hey, you pick and choose what you want, no fluff, no buff. We're going to literally build a package for your business, customized to you, and it helps with the psychology for a client.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. It's sort of
that's awesome. That's great. That's good. Tell me where the clients come from. Where do you get most of your?
So they're all inbound.
I'm not trying to.
By the way, all the secrets are out, guys.
By the way, this is why I do this podcast, right? To say, hey, listen, I think Ghost Brands is pretty successful. Let's bring them down here and see what the hell's going on.
That's right. Yeah. We do zero outbound. It's all inbound.
Okay.
So for us, we do a really good job of retaining our clients and then making sure we find other clients inside their same circles.
Right.
So if I'm gonna sit there and deal with, great example, I'm just gonna use the sports industry for instance. So like, we represent the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and we put an RFP in originally, and then we finally won the bid, and then now it's building that relationship years. But because we got Greenville Swamp Rabbits, we're able to get Greenville Triumph, Greenville Liberty, they're the USL 1 women's and men's soccer team. Then we're able to get the Hub City Spartanburgers. Then obviously, Athens Rock Lobsters from a portfolio building, but it's who you know versus just going out and trying to bang on doors and say, hey, I can give you the best price. I don't want the best price. I'm not the cheapest guy. I'm not the most highest price guy. I'm a good middleman. That's a great option.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's the best way to do it.
Yep.
Lot less effort as you get into doing it that way. Well, what's your favorite as far as your verticals? What's your favorite thing that y'all work on?
At first, it was QSRs, all quick service restaurants. But then we know pandemic happened, and then they shut down, and then obviously they have overhead and crazy. I do like sports. Sports is great. Minor league is amazing, but it is very hands-on, very detailed, meticulous, and tedious oriented. They want someone to wear all the hats for the pay of a minor league sports team, which is understandable. Our favorite ones are moving companies.
Okay.
The service-based, blue-collar moving companies that are vertical that we blew up with All My Sons, to New City Moving, to Big League Moving, to Best Utah Moving. Like, we got in that moving industry feel, and like we just thought a different perspective versus hire us to move. That's it. It's like really just sort of breaking it down and having fun with the brand.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you when you're working with clients, what do you want them to get out of the relationship with y'all? What is it you want to take them out? Is there a specific thing that you look to make sure that they get every time?
Honestly, it's just personable and authenticity. A lot of times, I think we've run through this as agencies. You feel people use either stock or not authentic content, and it doesn't show the brand. It's a task, like old school corporate style, and you're just doing a task, getting it done, and giving them what they asked for. I think going above and beyond, being a relationship and being involved in them, but then also giving the authenticity of the brand, I think is what we want to leave them with, because a lot of clients have left and actually come back. They said, hey, you're not the cheapest guy out there. I'm going to find this person. Totally fine. We understand. No worries. We're never going to burn a bridge. And then 8 months later, hey, what's up? Can we talk again? I said, absolutely. Now, our prices has gone up for inflation, but we absolutely love to talk. So I think it's that relationship that's always a bridge never being burned, and the authenticity of what we do. I mean, this is how I go to a meeting. Like if I'm going to DBH meeting, if I'm going to, if it's Greenville Swamp Rabbits, Aspire Sports, NASCAR, we film for them, this is how I'm showing up. I'm not in a suit and tie. I'm not going to try to dress to impress. I want to be authentic, so that's what we try to push.
Oh, it's part of your brand.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's and that's an important thing to establish, right? Yeah. What is it that we want to look like? Definitely. And I have people say that in the studio all the time, like, what should I wear? It's like, well, you wear what represents you, right? You know,
absolutely.
What serves it. So as we're looking at when you talk about marketing, that's kind of a big blanket term. talk about what it is that kind of what you provide? It's like, okay, so you do ad buys, you do create content, you do all of the above. What is it that y'all
So actually,
do?
we're, like I said, full service. So everything from managing your social media posts to comments to group posts, like how you posted in the Columbia. I was like, hey, what's up? How are you? Like, I'm in every group, even though I don't live in Columbia. Now, sometimes they'll kick me out, like, you don't live here. I'm like, dag nabbit. But when it comes to marketing, like you said, it is a broad term. It is a blanket term. What does the meat and potatoes look like at the end of it? It's really, hey, posting, doing the digital traditional media buying itself, if it's fulfillment. So for us, it's like, give you an example. It's like Swamp Rat Moving, one of a company we love. We do all their content creation. We do filming with them every 2 weeks. We control their social media. We control their website. We actually do all of their social media ads, their hiring ads, and even like we do for them like LSAs, Google ads, all that good stuff that goes through.
So what's their monthly budget for that?
It ranges, depends on, obviously, slow season for moving companies is the winter time. They ramp up more in the spring and summer. So we actually build a 6-month marketing plan for them and say, okay, we know we're planting the seeds to reap the harvest, or we're just going gangbusters. So it will completely range every single sort of seasonality, but our retainer stays the same on ours. So it'll range between like 5 to 7 a month just for the management side, and then all ads are either 2 or 3x of that to make sure that the management is not outweighing what you're spending on ads.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we have several of those too that we do all the management for it. Well, the things that you work on, what do you feel like is the most effective? So if I have somebody come to me and say, look, I got 10 grand, I got to go somewhere with this 10 grand. What would you do with it?
I would ask a couple questions. Is your brand established? Do we need to do a branding campaign or actual advertising? Are you looking for lead gen or revenue? You're looking for just awareness and branding. Because like, great example, there's a client that's coming down to Seneca that we're dealing with, but we have to do it in 3 phases. Brand first, web second, launch and sort of execution third. So that execution third is like, okay, hey, that's what we're looking at. Let's do direct mail to obviously people for them. They're B2C, not B2B. Let's focus on the people around. Let's do some radios. Let's do some billboards, and then we'll do your social. But the first 2 phases are the more expensive because the branding, as you know, doing so. It's going to take 6, 7, 8 months to get that branding done. Then website will take 3 to 4 months as long as we have that brand standard. So it really depends on our side where a client's at in that process. Because if you already have a brand, like great example, I sit there and think like Greenville Swampers when we took them over, they already had a brand. I don't have to do that. All I do is media buying, relations, sending them to Ticketmaster, and then tracking what we do on an ROI standpoint.
Right.
Versus Hub City or Athens, from the ground up, everything being built, it took a little longer, like about 13 to 14 months.
Gotcha. So it just depends on the phase that they get to you. Yeah. And how many times do you get people that are in that beginning phase where they don't have anything?
I mean, it is, not going to lie, it is like 50-50.
Wow.
It's one of those things where like they might have a brand, but then we sit there and we go back to who are, like, I think about buying personas. You think about who are we talking to? If I'm sitting there thinking like, Swamp Rat Moving, I'm thinking about consumers, moms, I don't want to move, or they want a hunky guy that's going to move with a cutoff shirt. Like if that's who I'm talking to, what are my ads going to be geared towards? Or we're just going to be try to be trendy and fun, and it's just designed for branding and awareness. So it depends. Like we'll actually rebuild people's brands if they come and say, hey, we really got to have a good foundation, because if we just advertise a bad brand,
right, you're not going to capture it once it gets in there.
Exactly.
You'll get a bunch of leads that you can't close.
Exactly. Yep.
Which is not good. That's not good for anybody.
Exactly. Or you think about the process. Like if we do like one of our gyms, like UFC Gym in Greenville, we represent, I'll say, how's your process internally? How are your sales reps? Are they doing these TIs? Are they actually following through a script? And is it not like, hey, thank you for calling us. I heard you love Muay Thai. Do you want to come try a class for free? It's like, it's I can bring a horse to water.
Yeah.
But if they're not making them drink or doing it the right way or putting it through that funnel, I'm just wasting money on the front end to then lose them on the back end.
Well, it's interesting, from my perspective, so much of what we've run into is that the marketing industry is very much traditionally siloed. In other words, if I'm an ad buyer or if I do ads is what I do, and I don't do organic, right? If I make television, I don't make social media content, right?
Yep. Very niche down.
Very, very siloed. Tell me what motivates you to do kind of everything. I know what motivates us to do it, but what motivates you to do everything?
I think for us, it's just, and I say this honestly as well, it's just different every day. Because if I just sat and did social over and over and over and over, the ideas, the thoughts, the creativity, I lose that a little bit.
Because it repeats the methodology.
Exactly. We talked about, music lower beds on who we're plugging and doing. We're like, okay, it's been used so much. How do you change that creativity? So if I'm thinking about a billboard campaign for a baseball team and trying to take them away from another baseball team in town, I'm gonna think of some creative things for billboards that I can't really do on social, or what I really can't do through a direct mail. So it helps our creativity stay that way. But also, I think it's also being a jack of all trades, being the one-stop shop for a solution. If I'm not the solution, I will find a solution for them and sort of help pivot and always be that tool out of their tool chest they can pick up and have a reliable way of understanding what that looks like.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk to me about your team.
Yeah.
So, like, what do you have on your team? You got 12 people. What are the roles there?
So we have actually two offices. One side is just our studio. So it has our photographer, videographer, drone, and graphic designer, plus the studio space itself. So that is just one side of the building. The other side is the corporate fulfillment side. So both my web developers are up there, accounts team, social team, copywriter, myself. So we sort of separate it that way. So then the production team can do what they need to do without being disturbed by everything that we have. So, I mean, you literally name it, we basically have it in the building. We didn't want to outsource. I wanted real, authentic people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's interesting. We certainly have gone through that, here and there. And I've got great people like Ashley, who's running camera today.
There goes a plug, Ashley. Gotcha.
Right? Ashley's moving away. Ashley's leaving us and going to California, Northern California. So she's safe.
Yeah. So she's safe.
We, made sure of that. Nothing near her, but. But anyway, it's tough to find and hold on to good people.
Absolutely.
So
Definitely.
that's a big challenge. So I know at the same time we were working on the Columbus Clingstones, which we won't get into the name unless you just want to. But you guys were working on Spartanburg. Talk to us about that experience with Spartanburg. What was the name?
Hub City Spartanburgers.
Spartanburgers. That's
yes.
right. So what was that experience like for y'all?
I mean, I think it's funny. We were building two brands at the same time. So Hub City Spartanburgers, then Athens Rock Lobsters, from like an awareness standpoint, getting people out there. We had a block party, which was amazing, but the public reaction was hilarious. Like we had probably 6,000 people on Main Street of Spartanburg that we closed down. And we're like, all right, guys, and the Hub City Spartanburgers. Boo! We were sitting there like, we knew it was coming, and so we sort of took that approach, like the Wendy's approach of like clapping back, not backing down from it, and then also explaining it as the understanding of it was just a great brand that was already pre-established. That's like, hey, why would we let this die when, yes, it was a collegiate team. Yes, it didn't really do well. We had 1 year, didn't have the foundation like DBH has, and Greensboro just launched a team, and it was the Gargoyles.
Well, I had a conversation with, we're still rolling? I had a conversation with Jeff when we went down to Columbus for the announcement of the Clingstones. And our experience with the announcement was very different than that. It was at a block party for the downtown, and they played our video that announced the name on a big screen. It was really great, and I was anticipating the boos like you said. But in the room, they just uproared with applause. Yeah. Everybody was really excited. People got in line to buy jerseys and T-shirts and all this stuff. And then they put it on social media. And then they changed the name on social media to the Clingstones. And to this day, that was September. So this is 3.5 months later. There is still a public outcry against the name.
Really?
And they have. The Clingstones have handled it very well. They just keep going and it's all fine. But I think it's a lot of it has to do with and I talked to Abby Anderson that was in charge of the Fireflies when they started here. Everybody hated that name. So that's what Jeff said, that everybody hates the name to begin with. Yeah. And then they just get over it and it's like baseball's in town and we just go to the game. Exactly. And so I think that's usually how that goes. What was the content that y'all made for Spartanburg?
So we're still in contract with them, so we still do all their stuff between we have to do stuff with Forge, obviously the website.
Are they starting in April?
They are.
Yeah.
So we just launched single game tickets last week. We have, I think it's 86% sold for suites and deposits for the next 5 years.
Great.
So it's good for the Fifth Third standpoint for sure on marketing and advertising. But the city has a sort of adopted the name, which is great now. So the first 2 weeks, like you said, was just change your name. This is stupid. We're going to sign a petition. We're going to go to the mayor. What all that good stuff was. And, we did a lot of good PR after the fact. Went to, WSPA, Nexstar, Fox. We did a lot of things and started explaining why and Hub City and, food with Spartan Foods. And so we want to keep that food concept. And worked with the Beacon, which is a great sort of diner that was there. So like a lot of stuff there. But
so the Beacon is going to sell the Spartan burger?
Well, no, we're going to try to get the best burgers in the stadium, but that's the goal. Like the great example, there's like Chip and there's Flip. The Flip is the spatula. Chip is the kids mascot.
Okay.
So like they all have their own different tones and voices. Like the burger, we still haven't named the mascot burger yet because we're going to do sort of a naming campaign.
Right.
But it's like, spatula is that teenager that has like a foul mouth and will talk back and has no problem with the repercussions, where Chip is like the kids like, hey, come on out, the fun stuff. So it was good branding to the point where like they finally adopted it. But our first block party reveal is like we got kids from Wofford and upstate to come and wear the jerseys when we revealed it. We did this cool video on the merch launch that we did in our studio and had hats and jackets and all this stuff that we did. And we sold merch within the first, I think it was 72 hours. We sold it in 43 of the 50 states.
Wow.
So, I mean, their merch blew off, which is great. So, and I have to hand it to their team. They did an amazing job on an internal standpoint, really helping that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was very, it's first time we had ever worked with minor league baseball, other than we did a little bit with Spirit when they opened the park down here in Columbia. But we, for us to go to Columbus is 5.5 hours. So, we did, a lot, but it was our first time working with them, and it was interesting. I mean, I had never really been on the inside of baseball like that. So.
A lot of different hats. Like same thing with the Athens Rock Lobsters. Like we had the B-52s come out for them in Athens. It was
cool.
fun. We had to work with Crush Malibu Music on getting authorization for the name and having fun that way. Then worked with a local artist to come.
I just got Athens Rock Lobsters when you said the B-52s. I did not get that when you said it to begin with.
Or it was going to be Widespread Panic for Widespread. It was going to be Class City Panic for Widespread Panic. It was all music based. So
Athens related. Yeah.
Yep. So when we were approached by the ownership of Athens to build the team there, we like, okay, let's do research. What's Athens about? We can't just bring a team and say, here's the Spartans, enjoy it. People are not going to rally behind it. So we did a lot of good naming. And even the mascot's called Claudius. So C-L-A-W. Claws up.
Claudius.
So, fun stuff.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be Greek, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But then Spartanburg, too, is also a Greek thing. Well, that's cool. Tell me where do you see things like social media heading from this point? What's kind of like your opinion on like TikTok, like that whole craziness?
I think a lot of times it depends on the organic versus the paid. I think there's a lot of noise out there. I know people are as media buyers, I see upward trends to going back to traditional, even though it's a little bit more expensive than obviously digital and online for social side. We started as a social media company. So we're all about, TikTok, LinkedIn. I want to have a new interface for LinkedIn. I'm just going to say that right now. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Google My Business even. We stay away a lot from Twitter and Snapchat just because the fact is you really need to have someone boots on the ground doing it versus outsource. So, we see it as an upward trajectory for especially usage. It's just how do you break through the noise? Because now there's a lot of good professional videographers out there that are doing really cool, funny commercials versus the more professional. And honestly, the content changed from, used to do 60-second radio ads. Now you're doing 30, now you're doing 15. It's starting to get smaller time frame to cram more and more information, but also get that grabber like in a book.
Yeah. Well, and I'm doing a presentation next week. I was working on the PowerPoint when you came in about nonprofits using video specifically to raise money.
Yep.
And one of our clients has a 7.5 minute video that she uses to raise money with. And so rather than talking at an event, she plays the video.
Yeah.
And the video does all the talking, and then she just answers questions.
It
makes everything kind of work better.
Yeah.
And they have a good social media presence, but this is what they choose to put their money into.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I mean, content's king. I still believe nowadays, like how do you you see? I'm sure y'all see it across the board. It's like, make your videos faster, cut them this way. Here's new podcast software to cut your video. You don't have to save down time, push out more content. It's like, I feel like it's Gary Vee when I say that. I'm not that for a plug.
Not that anybody here's doing
content.
That.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like I think as myself, it's like, when does it become noise versus information based versus if it's lead or revenue based? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting. One of the things that we're trying to accomplish with our podcast is basically like we are not looking for wide adoption of any kind, right? We just want to kind of get to these kind of conversations that we can have with people and see sort of what you can do to help, to inspire people that might see.
Well, like I even can we cuss on this podcast? I have to ask.
If you want to, I'm
don't
going to have one of these guys.
No, just bleep. I now I have to redo this. It's a book I wrote. It's a book I wrote, but instead of entrepreneurship, replace the P with a T.
Okay.
It's entrepreneurship. Bleep that out. But it just goes through like the crap. Like people don't get me wrong. It's not a plug at all. It's like I've listened to Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, Damian Jackson, Tony Robbins, like all these guys. Like you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But they never really go through the crap that you go through as an entrepreneur. That says, hey, listen. You're going to work, you might scramble and eat ramen noodles for the next 13 weeks. You might have to pay your people before you pay yourself, obviously. You might have to work long nights, not see your spouse, not see your kids, miss that baseball term, whatever it is to then get where you need to be. People just think, oh, when I go from a corporate job of 9 to 5, I'm going to my entrepreneur side of 9 to 5 and I can work my own hours. It's just not that way. And people just don't think, they just think, oh, I'm going to make all the money. I make 100% of the profits and I can do what I want. It's just not that way.
Well, the freedom that you get is not necessarily time.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't necessarily have to do anything you don't want to do, right? Which is not it's not exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
As you started looking for it. So, all right, Brian, what you got? You haven't been a very talkative host today.
He's thinking about repainting a bumper.
Yeah, that's right. He's
thinking about car payments.
Thinking about the Lexus bumper.
It's been a little bit of a whirlwind.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, talking to you is funny, and I'll be very honest. It's not been the experience that we've had with having a marketing agency, and we get hit with a lot of the siloed nature of it to say, we are pegged as a videography company, right? And what do we know about ad buys or marketing or whatever else? And so we've had a challenging time, really breaking through that. Now, obviously, we're still doing fine on the videography standpoint. People are still hiring us to do that. And, we have social media clients. We've got good relationships with several clients that are doing that. But it's been interesting watching, from going from a videography company straight to trying to do the marketing agency. It's been a challenge.
Well, the one thing we do say, and this is just a sort of a nod to you guys, like you guys do the content, which is fantastic. So you should be able to do the social because you're the one-stop shop when it comes to content. That's honestly, we did the reverse. We were social media first, but we had to go hire freelancers. And finally I was like, man, I got to hire a full-time production team because I'm doing so much social. I just don't have the content creators to do it. So you guys already have the fulfillment on the content. Now you just got to, it's the same quote I say is like, money will always be the issue in the absence of value. It's like you already have the content, you have the value. Now say, hey, let's just tack on social to this and we can control your social. We have all the content. We're going to edit all of it. We'll be your fulfillment, baby.
Yeah.
So
well, and it's really just a matter of like I can't keep my hands off the camera.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest. Ashley will tell you too when we come in here to do this. What should be happening is I sit down in this chair and I let her just.
You're working in the business and on the business at the same time.
I can't. I have a really hard time doing that.
Yeah.
So it's.
I don't.
Brian does not have a hard time with that.
That's his one plug for the whole pod. I don't. That's it.
Brian doesn't like to over control too much.
Well, it depends on passion. I think like I'm in the trenches. I'm working all weekends. I don't want to just say, hey guys, do it. And I don't want to be a part of it. Like still going to client meetings, still sitting down and interacting. Yes, I can take photos of food because they don't move. I can control the lighting.
Sure.
If it's people, I'm like, you guys got to get this. But it's being part of it saying, I never want to lose the skill set that you fell in love with.
Right.
And so I think that's to say something as well.
And the connection to that, right? Yeah. And as it goes along, you start to go, well, I used to love this and I need to figure out how to stay loving it.
Exactly.
And I, honestly, the best thing for me is that when I can put everything together, I can hand it to somebody like Ashley and say, make this great. And I see it 2 days later and it is great. That's awesome.
Exactly.
And I still have a deep connection to that,
I think it's trusting the process, the people that you put in place. I mean, y'all have talked about. I can talk about how many people I've had turnover in the past 6 years, let alone when the corporate role came in.
Sure.
But it's sometimes not the person, it's the position. It's okay. I have a great person, but they're not. This position is not suited for them. How do I put them in an editor role? How do I put them in a videography role versus photography? Or
you just keep moving them around until they move out.
Yeah,
and that's what ends up happening. Usually, it's like we keep trying until it just doesn't work anymore. And I have told to anybody who's ever left us, I was like, I could fill this building with people who've worked with us. It's like it's okay. We'll figure it out, but it is a challenge.
Well, I think especially this world, marketing, production, agency world, it's like, I know this is not the end all be all. If it's a good platform or staple to hone senses, hone skills, if it's personality skills or it's just work ethic skills. I have a 15-year-old daughter. I love her to death. I mean, she can learn a TikTok dance in 30 seconds, but not math over the course of 8 hours in school. Right. But I think it's because we're visual learners versus anything else. But if I can be a platform that people come work for me for a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it is, learn a skill, learn a trait, whatever it is, and then they move on to something bigger. I'm like, hey, great. Thank you for using it as a platform. Thank you for being a part of the journey. And I'm glad you're somewhere else because you're not going to retire at Ghost. I might, but no one else will.
Yeah, we have that talk all the time. It's like we have people that stay with us for a couple of years. We have people that stay with us for Ashley, 6 months. And so, sometimes it doesn't work out long term, but man, the idea that what we were trying to do 2 years ago was to say exactly like you, we want the full-time staff that can do everything so that it's consistent, so that everybody gets used to who's coming up, who's showing up. It doesn't always have to be me, all that kind of stuff.
It's an investment. I from going from freelancers to full-time employees that are on salary, I mean, it was the biggest investment. I mean, it's paid off, which is great, but it's also I had to eat it for 8 months of salary every 2 weeks, paying for 12 people.
Sure.
I'm like, man, $500,000 in payroll. I don't know if this is working when you think about it. But again, it's like it's part of the process. Trust the journey. That's how it goes. And
you eventually get there. So, what is how is the business environment in Greenville? We're here in Columbia, all the time. Yep. We work in Greenville occasionally. I was actually working on a video this morning. We shot at Unity Park.
Nice.
But what's it like up there? What's the business environment like?
Greenville's great. I think, there's multiple agencies in Greenville. We love them all. We all have good relationship with them. There's enough business where I'm not trying to poach other people's clients.
Right.
But Greenville is so diverse. It has everything from the restaurant to the tech side to corporations. But it's just, I think a lot of time it's knowing our footing. Like I think about, there's Brian Stearns with Ringo Fire and Campfire. Great agency, great company. They deal with, Ryobi, D-Wall, a lot of people in Lowe's, like a big company like that. They have 5-6 clients, and that's all they focus on versus me. I'll have 14 states and 50 plus clients, but some of them are small mom and pop, some are big corporate. It would be all in between. I think Greenville is ready to explode. I just think, yes, it's been growing like crazy over the past, 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Just the revamp of downtown, 85 385 being redone. Even Unity Park is beautiful. Mm-hmm. They're trying to, I think that's what Spartanburg will do eventually as they try to retrofit it. But Greenville is great, thriving, but I think it's also a good melting pot of all different things that come into one. But also I think it has the infrastructure of the city behind it that allow more businesses to thrive and allow us to have opportunities to sort of slide in for marketing.
How did you grow to the other states?
So it was just word of mouth from other clients. So great example, I will go back to the moving companies that we sort of love. Chris Sweet with Swamp Rabbit Moving. We grew Swamp Rabbit all the way to Charleston. He's in all 50 states. He runs around, not locations, but he reaches all of them. He's from Greenville. But the funny thing is, he's in an entrepreneur group. He's in a mastermind group. He's in a moving company group. People are like, Chris, what are you doing? Who are you using this for? Like, hey, this guy named Ghost, Britton, hit him up. And good. Our first secondary client was New City Moving in Chicago. And I remember I got a call from Brian. I was like, hey, Brian, what's up? And he's like, hey, man, I want you to come do content. I said, you are in Chicago. I'm in Greenville. You can't find a videographer or production team between here and Chicago? He's like, I want you. You do Chris's stuff. Cool. Sounds good. And then we did that for him, then started doing his social, and then he got us into all. That helped us get more and more and more deep in the trenches into those niche markets, but allowed us to say, okay, hey, we have 6 moving companies on board. And so it's not copy paste, because that's the hardest thing with it is being different, because they all know each other. I can't do copy paste the same stuff.
Can't use the same concept.
Exactly. Can't even use the same artless songs.
And
like
you
that
burn all your
ridiculous.
moving ideas, on the first guy, and you're like, uh-oh, I got no more moving ideas. Yeah.
Well, that's where we do a lot of research. I mean, we will spend 14 days doing research on a market.
Right.
We'll say, okay, who's your buying personas? Is it male, female? Who's our target audience? What are the buy? Where do they go? What's the median income? From everything from just subdivisions to whole cities to Spartanburg. There's east side and west side of Spartanburg. They do not cross each other. And we're trying to make sure we bridge that gap for the stadium being Fifth Third of saying baseball will bring Spartanburg together, because nickname of Spartanburg is Murderburg.
Right.
Just letting you know.
Right.
So it's like that. There might be a great populace and a great demographic there on. We look at how many people are in Spartanburg, but are they the ones going to spend money? Are they the ones going to put a $1,000, $2,000 deposit on a suite for 5 years?
Right.
That's where we're trying to pull from and figure out. So the research comes into play for us when we have a new client in different markets for sure, and how we scale to them.
How did you meet the moving guy?
Oh, I knew Chris from. Where did I know Chris from? I think it was Tiger Moving or somewhere else. He used to work for another moving company, and so he was starting right when I was starting marketing. We sort of crossed paths.
And he's the owner?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I mean, it's Facebook groups for sure. It's being recommended, being community first, I think, is one of the biggest things. And when business owners sort of see that in each other, hey, let's sit down and talk, let's have coffee. It's that networking at the very beginning that sort of allows you to sort of build those relationships. And I never come out the gate selling. You're like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing. I love it. Hey, if I can recommend you in a Facebook group, I'll recommend you all day, every day. And then if I say, he's doing social so well, I want him to hire for us because I don't have time for it. So.
And you seem to have a lot of energy.
Well, I do drink about 1,200 to 1,800 milligrams of caffeine a day. My wife
That's
doesn't
good.
like it.
That's
so.
good. I've been watching your energy, and I'm like, man, I wish I had a quarter of that drive right there.
Take some of the blood and it'll go right.
Yeah, that's right. Just do a little transfusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be super helpful.
We have had back-to-back guests talking about ghosts.
That's true.
Oh, Ghost Energy?
We had a Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ghost
We had
okay.
a Ghostbusters guy on Tuesday.
Oh, nice.
He has a charity where he and his friends dress up like Ghostbusters, and they do. They have a lot of props and a whole an Ecto one that they bring out to things, and they do events.
Yeah.
And they sell 3D printed Ghostbusters figurines and give that money to charity.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So,
yeah. I actually had a call this morning. I turned on my corporate phone. It says someone from California. Hey, we love to partner with you. We love ghosts. I'm like, Ghost Energy. Like, I'm going to pump you over to those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's funny once you get on that brand, you're like everything kind of separates out. These things, and I don't know if the camera can see that, but that's a business card.
Yeah, die cut metal.
It's a metal business card. So that's got to be
like $5 a piece.
I was going to say that's got to be pricey.
Hey,
yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty close.
So I made some money today, Mom.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Well, it's been good to have you on.
Thank you.
Brian, any other?
Well, hey, it's usually 80-20.
Yeah.
It wasn't 80-20 today, though.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a lot of coffee or anything. It was like, now Brian's got a podcast coming up after this one. He's going to host it. So,
good.
I
Then
think he's
switch.
saving all his energy
for that.
So
What I would like to hear is tell me a story about how you, like, that moment where you realized this is working and you can take it to where you brought it right now.
I mean, I think
the actual story, though.
Yeah. I will say, I'm trying to think of a good one. Got one. Hit Burger. They're a restaurant in Malden. Very small, one of one chain. He's going to grow. He's had background of obviously Zaxby's. He's already grown to 3 locations now. But funny thing, so during my UFC gym days, there's UFC gym in Greenville that we actually represent now. So I worked for him, and now I do marketing for them. So it's funny. But he worked out there. I ran it, and he was talking about this restaurant concept. Man, it's like Smash Burgers, like Shake Shack, and In-N-Out had a baby. It's called Hit Burger. I said, cool. Call me whenever you want to eat burgers and fries and nuggets. Oh my, whatever. It's those things. And so when I was starting my marketing agency and he finally started the restaurant, he started this food truck. I actually flipped some burgers and made some nuggets for it. I wanted to learn, experience it. And when he hired us to do marketing and how much between PR, I learned as well. It's not just I jumped right into it. I was still learning. I still learn stuff to this day when it comes to marketing and media buying between, okay, hey, I want to buy this vinyl billboard versus digital. Okay, I need to do it every 8 seconds. Like, there's some things I always want to sort of consume and learn. But when Hit Burger took off from the branding standpoint to the food truck that's when we started his sticker campaign, and we did these little off-brand sticker. This is where we got this idea from. That relationship with Daniel, even though he's grandfathered into his invoice, it'll never change. So good luck, Daniel, never leave me. But it's those things of seeing the relationship with me and Daniel as a friendship turned to partnership turned to relationship, I should say that, is a business relationship. From his food truck to his restaurant to the PR to the marketing to the everything we've done from the ground up for him, it started because of UFC Gym being in there. And seeing him scale to 3, 4, 5 locations now has, over the course of from 2019 till now. In 2019, when he grew and Hit Burger came to fruition and it got so much popularity so fast, I was like, okay, what I'm doing actually matters. What I'm doing organically is helping him, become a $2.1 million restaurant in his first year. It's like, that's when it clicks saying, okay, I know what I'm doing. Our team knows what we're doing. I'm not just marketing, winging it. It's actually our strategy, our thoughts, our branding is taking effect and sinking into the residents, to Malden, to Greenville. So that's what I would say is sort of the clicking point would be Hit Burger for sure. Because we dealt with restaurants before, City Range, Sully Steamers, they're great concepts and everything. It's just, I think Hit Burger was one that we know what we're doing and it's working.
That's inspiring.
So.
Yeah, and it's interesting that result, right, is the key.
Yeah.
Is making sure that you recognize that result and you understand kind of where it's going.
Yeah, I mean there's been clients that that we feel like, oh man, we felt like we failed them. It's either a budget standpoint or hey, they didn't get the impact they wanted, and obviously marketing's not an overnight success. And I feel like people think, and we talked about this as well, marketing is anybody can start. So many people are popping up starting marketing agencies. It's so easy, it's good. I can run your social ads. That's fantastic. But it's so much deeper than just marketing. And so I think same thing. Daniel over the years have been approached by probably 7, 8, 10 plus agencies. Say, hey, I can do either a better price than Britton and Ghost. I can do this. I can do that. And Daniel point out, say, okay, can you do this? Have you done this? He'll start he's so analytical, and I love it that I remember one time he gave me a call, says, hey, I got a marketing agency in here right now talking to me. What's your name again? And they're like, no, we're good. Like, all right, cool. We'll talk later. And I'm like, thanks, Daniel. Like it's those things. It's that relationship. That he hit me up, like, I need some hoodies. Great, I'll make some hoodies and I'll get them to you. They'll be.
But the thing is, if you produce for him, he'd be crazy to let you go.
Exactly. And grandfathered in since 2019. Looking straight at the camera while I say that.
That's awesome.
Invoice
Well, Britton, thank you so much for doing this. We always end up our podcast with 5 questions. We'll let Brian do the 5 questions today.
Ooh, the 5 faves.
The 5 faves.
Is it like a fast, rapid fire?
Yeah,
We tried it.
Hot seat?
We always have commentary on the answers, but
Yeah.
we tried
Not
to
super
do it.
fast.
It's not, it's not a fast 5.
Then it was like a hot seat. Blue, green,
Not so
sky.
fast.
All right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Cinnamon Ghost Crunch.
Knew that was coming.
You knew that. I mean, that given.
I was also like Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
That's good. The peanut butter's good.
Yeah.
The rest cut your mouth.
Yeah, cut your mouth.
Yeah.
Favorite sitcom or television show?
Oh, man, Mandalorian. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mando.
Favorite season of the year?
Oh, I'm a winter guy.
Really?
Actually, I prefaced that.
You said
It's
of
all,
the year.
It's all in the question, isn't it?
Yeah. You said of the year.
I should have
That's
said,
right.
what's your favorite season?
Because we had somebody this past year week said football season.
See, yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone else said Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think it's because favorite season
You said
of the year.
then it taints the answer.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I sweat
Noted.
no matter what, so I like it being cold.
Okay, I got it.
Not many winters.
Man, I am not a winter fan.
Well,
I'm
probably
gonna
because
tell
I
you.
drink so much caffeine that my body has to sort
Could
of
be. That's-
expel all the caffeine.
That must be what
sweat.
I need to do is more caffeine.
Adrenal
That's
system.
what I need to do. Is y'all all want me to be more high strung, don't you?
yeah. A little anxious and antsy.
That's right.
Favorite song?
Oh, God, that's a hard one. Favorite song. I listen to so many songs. We do so many videos. I'm trying to think of something that actually I enjoy listening to. Can I pull one up real fast and see? Let me see what I have on my list real fast. Library. What is it? Oh, this is. Oh man, I'm gonna freaking date myself. So bad. Bleed It Out by Linkin Park. That's gonna be so bad.
Oh, nice.
I love Linkin Park.
Okay.
That sounds bad to say.
No, that's fine. Linkin Park. You know, it's
Not the
funny.
new.
When Linkin Park came out, Linkin Park was sort of an also ran for a minute, right? They were just like pulling on to
Yeah,
the trend that was going, and then everybody else dropped off, and they're still going.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's.
I don't like the new stuff too much.
You don't like the new singer?
Yeah, no, she.
I'm kind of. She's growing on me.
I mean,
come
here.
I kind of like it.
Does a good job. You think about OG original.
Yeah.
What you fall in love with.
Yeah, that's true, and it's hard to replace the singer. That's the hardest thing to
absolutely.
do.
Definitely.
Okay, we could go off on a whole music thing for an hour.
Yeah.
That's
so,
all right.
Um,
Our last one, it's kind of like a what would be your favorite meal or your last meal if you were on death row?
A 44-ounce tomahawk steak with probably broccoli or Brussels sprouts.
nice steak. That's the first steak.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's our first UFC fighter, though.
That's that's true. I don't think we've had anybody from the UFC on here, so that's great. Yeah, I would if I got a 44-ounce tomahawk steak, I would just never go to death row because I'd never finish it. It would be like I'd be like, wait, I got a couple more ounces.
Meat and potatoes. That's how I am.
That's Brian too, man.
That's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I think about John Candy eating the old 96er.
right.
If I can get some gristle down, I'm going to throw some hats and shirts in for the kids.
Yeah, that was a weird time in movies.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Britton, thank you so much,
thank
man.
you.
I
I
appreciate
appreciate
you coming down. It's been great to get to know you, and I probably am going to try to pick your brain more.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
as we get going.
Deal.
But that's awesome.
Perfect. Thank you.